I'll talk about the Clarity Act for a second. So, I know there's a lot of people out there excited about the Clarity Act, and they think we need the Clarity Act in order to move forward in the space. I am kind of, I don't want to say against that, that's not the right word. I was literally on Capitol Hill advocating for the Genius Act and the Clarity Act last year in the middle of June when they passed the Genius Act and pushed the Clarity Act out. I told everybody exactly that it was going to get pushed out. You know, I would love to see the Clarity Act passed. I think that we do need real regulation in the space. However, I don't think we need it in order to move forward. And I don't think that the uptick on the XRP ETFs is a hint toward the Clarity Act. I think it's a hint toward XRP being adopted in the near future. And we know that Goldman Sachs is the largest buyer of these XRP ETFs. They hold more than anybody else. They're an institutional player buying up all of these positions. So if that tells you anything, and it tells me a lot, if they're buying up that much XRP through the ETFs, because that's the only way they can hold it, that they think it's going to do pretty well. So all that being said, I think with the SEC and the CFTC, working together in lockstep, issuing guidance, I think that's enough for the space to move forward. The one thing that I think we are waiting on is the OCC to come out and say, hey, look, like this is how stablecoin yield is going to work for the banks. We've had a lot of progress between Coinbase and the banks going back and forth. And again, they're talking about that being a piece of the Clarity Act, but I think that they could codify that and move forward because they were already pretty much worked through all of it on the Genius Act and then came back to the table and said, whoa, we want it different. Nah, you need to back up a step. You already agreed on this. We need to move forward to be able to issue stable coins. So I think that's what's going to take place. And if that is the case, then they can let the reverse carry trade unwind. They can let all these things happen because there's going to be enough domestic demand for those treasuries out of as foreign debt holders rotate out of those into their own bonds and those flow back here to the U.S., we'll be able to buy them up. And that's what we need in place in order for all of this to happen. So waiting on that, again, the OCC I think is going to be the party that comes out and says this is how this is going to work. I don't think we're going to need it in the Clarity Act.